Deep within the bowels of a forgotten attic, shrouded in darkness and dust, hung a mirror like no other. It stood tall and slender, its silver frame tarnished with age, its glass cloudy with the breath of countless forgotten reflections. The mirror held secrets, dark and terrible, whispered to be cursed by a malevolent entity. Legend had it that it never lied, reflecting the raw, unvarnished truth, even the darkest recesses of one's soul. Some whispered that it was a portal, a gateway to another realm. Many had fallen prey to its allure, their sanity shattering upon witnessing the grotesque reflections staring back at them. They say the mirror reveled in the despair it wrought, feeding on the fear and anguish of its victims. Its origins were shrouded in mystery, lost to the annals of time. But one thing was certain. The mirror was an object of dread, a silent sentinel of secrets best left buried. Blackwood Manor loomed over the desolate moor, a specter against the stormy sky. Its windows were like vacant eyes, staring out at the world with an almost palpable sense of malice. The once grand estate had fallen into disrepair, its crumbling facade a testament to years of neglect and decay. Locals spoke of the manor in hushed tones, spinning tales of its sinister history. They whispered of the Blackwood family, driven to madness and despair within those very walls. It was said that their darkest secret lay dormant within the manor, hidden from the world but forever bound to the estate. Blackwood Manor was a place of shadows and whispers, where the air hung heavy with the weight of tragedy and the stench of damp decay. Ethan Hayes, a young writer seeking solace and inspiration, had inherited Blackwood Manor from a distant relative. Oblivious to the rumors and legends surrounding his newfound possession, he saw it as the perfect escape from the city's clamor, a sanctuary where he could finally finish his novel. Intrigued by the manor's history, he delved into the Blackwood family archives, piecing together fragments of their troubled past. He dismissed the local tales as mere superstition, refusing to believe the stories of curses and hauntings. Little did he know that his skepticism would soon be tested, his sanity pushed to the brink. Unwittingly, he had stepped into a nightmare, a labyrinth of horror from which escape might be impossible. Drawn by an unknown force, Ethan ventured into the manor's dusty attic. Cobwebs clung to his face as he navigated through the labyrinth of discarded furniture and forgotten memories. And then he saw it. The mirror. It stood in the far corner, shrouded in shadows, its presence both alluring and unsettling. Ethan felt a chill crawl down his spine as he stepped closer, his hand reaching out to touch the cold, smooth surface. As he gazed into the mirror's depths, he was greeted not by his reflection but by a grotesque distortion, a horrifying mockery of his own features. His heart pounded in his chest, a mixture of fear and fascination coursing through his veins. He tried to look away, but the mirror held him captive, its pull irresistible. Whispers of the past. Night after night, Ethan found himself drawn back to the attic, compelled to face the mirror and its unsettling truths. He saw glimpses of the Blackwood family's downfall, their greed, their betrayal, their descent into madness. Each vision was more disturbing than the last, pushing Ethan closer to the edge of sanity. The whispers started subtly, faint murmurs that seemed to emanate from the depths of the mirror. They spoke of unspeakable acts, of betrayal and murder, their voices growing louder, more insistent with each passing night. Ethan tried to rationalize the voices, attributing them to stress or sleep deprivation. But deep down, he knew the truth. The mirror was alive, and it was communicating with him, the unveiling. The line between reality and the mirror's reflections blurred with each passing day. Ethan became withdrawn, his writing abandoned, his mind consumed by the horrifying visions plaguing him. He saw his own reflection change, his features twisting into a grotesque mockery of his former self. The mirror was no longer content with showing him the past. It was revealing his own darkest truths, the hidden ugliness he had kept buried deep within. And then, one fateful night, the mirror revealed its ultimate secret. As Ethan stared into its depths, he saw a vision of himself, standing over a lifeless body, a blood-stained knife clutched in his hand. The shock of recognition sent a jolt of horror through him. The mirror had shown him his future, a future he was powerless to escape. The mirror's confession. Terror morphed into a strange sort of understanding. The mirror wasn't just showing Ethan a future. It was showing him the truth of his own soul. He was predisposed to violence, to darkness. He realized with a cold certainty that he was no different from the Blackwoods, doomed to repeat their gruesome fate. His reflection, the monstrous thing that was now more him than the man in its reflection, spoke. It whispered of a power within the mirror, a power that could be harnessed, controlled. All Ethan had to do was embrace the darkness, let it consume him. Trapped. Ethan's hand, as if guided by an unseen force, reached out toward the mirror's surface. His fingers sank into the cold glass, the sensation sending a shiver down his spine. He felt a pull, a seductive invitation to step into the world reflected before him. His better judgment screamed at him to resist, but the allure of the mirror was too strong to deny. He was trapped, both physically and mentally, a prisoner of his own dark desires. The attic around him dissolved into a swirling vortex of shadows and light, the air thick with the scent of decay and despair. He was no longer in control, his fate sealed by his own curiosity and the mirror's sinister power, the unseen reflection. As Ethan stepped fully into the mirror, a triumphant cackle echoed behind him. He spun around, his blood turning to ice. Standing in the doorway, a shadowy figure with eyes that burned like hot coals watched him with a malevolent glee. It was a reflection, yes, but not of Ethan. It was the true resident of the mirror, the entity that had fed on the Blackwood's misery and now claimed Ethan as its own. The mirror had shown Ethan many reflections, but it had saved its most terrifying truth for last, the reflection that wasn't his own.